everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kate. This is Diamond Painting and Dr. Pepper, and I'm coming at you this week with a new WIP and chat. Today we are working on Satura by Margaret Morales, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started here. I'm trying to think, did I unbox anything that I need to insert here? And I don't think I did this week. I think I did not get any new accessories that I unboxed with you guys. So I think it's just gonna be moving on from here with our WIP and chat. I did unbox some diamond paintings this week on my new What You Got Wednesday trial that I'm doing, just to see how people like it. And it looks like so far that you guys are enjoying that. So I'll probably do that again this week. But yeah, right now it is, I managed not to cut through that very well. But it is currently late Friday evening and I'm done with work and just gonna work on this for a bit. I am using this pen again this week, which I think is what I maybe used in last week's WIP and chat, or the one before that. And I did get questions about where this is from, because I said I didn't know because I got it from a de-stash from my friend. And I was able to find out that this is an Enabler's Outpost pen. So, and they do take customs, so definitely check them out. I will link to them down below. This is one of the prettiest pens I own, no joke. So gorgeous. So yeah, and then I'm using this Muni Made tray that I unboxed with you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. Pick a color here. How are all you guys doing this week? I hope everyone's had a good week and it hasn't been too stressful. Mine was busy. So I guess to start out with, I'll talk a little bit about last weekend, which was when my stepdaughter came to visit. So if you've seen any of my videos, you might have heard me talk about how she lives pretty far away from us in Montana. And so she was gonna fly out here for the long weekend to visit. And she had to travel a ways to get to the airport that had tickets available. So she was flying out of Bozeman, Montana, and for some reason the only plane that they could get tickets on took her all the way from Bozeman, Montana to a layover in Denver, Colorado, and then all the way back up here to Oregon, about an hour away from us. And apparently the weather in Denver that night on Friday night last week was kind of crazy. And her flight was circling and trying to land, and they had planes backed up and not able to get to gates, and she missed the flight she was supposed to connect to. And then there was another flight that she was maybe going to be able to get onto that would go to a different airport close to us, about an hour away in the other direction. And so she was hoping she could make that one because it was leaving a bit later. But she couldn't get, like, her plane could not get to a gate fast enough. And that plane also left. So then she was actually stuck at the Denver airport all night, and she had to find a place to like sleep at the airport on the floor with her hoodie as a pillow, and she, wrapped her backpack around her legs and everything, just, to keep it safe. And she had apparently forgotten to bring a charger for her phone, and her phone was dying. So she had to borrow someone's charger and to try and work out like when she was going to get on a plane the next day. So it was wild. But she did eventually get on a plane the next morning and get here about 10 o'clock a.m. after flying from Denver. So that was a very stressful evening for her. And had we known that was going to be the case, we probably would have just had her stay home and not worry about it. But I guess it's hard to know that those things are going to happen. Anyway, we had a really good visit with her while she was here. She was able to stay until Monday evening. So we missed out on Friday night with her, but we did have her for 2 nights and got to go to the bookstore, a couple used bookstores with her on Saturday. And Casey, of course, my son, was ready for more books. He got through all the books we bought him the weekend before. And so he was ready for new ones. So there was a particular series that he was trying to find, and they didn't have it at Barnes & Noble, so we were checking out the different used bookstores around here. And my dad had some credits that he let us use at 2 of the different bookstores because he trades his books in when he's done reading them, which I couldn't do that. Like, I like to keep the books I get. Even though I personally don't tend to read physical books, I love to own physical books. I think they're some of the prettiest things. Anyway, so we used my dad's credit, and Casey he did manage to find one of the books he was looking for, but not the series that he was looking for. And then I was looking for a book too this time because I am doing the Way of Kings read along. So I went and grabbed a copy of the book so that I can do some annotation if I need to. We have a copy, but I specifically bought one that I could mark in for things that I might want to mention to you guys when I'm doing my read-along videos and stuff. So I was able to grab that. Oh, and then I found a really cool graphic novel version of The Magician's Nephew by C.S. Lewis, which is my favorite of the Narnia novels. And so I was really excited to see that. I didn't even know that existed, but it's really cool. It's just like a comic book. And it was only like $6 or something, if I remember correctly. And so I got that for me to keep with my Narnia collection. So yeah, it was fun to bring Raya along with us to the bookstores because she is also very much a reader, but she apparently has way too much on her TBR. She has a whole shelf for it at home, and she says she is not accepting gifts, suggestions, recommendations, gift cards, or anything like that because she needs to get her TBR down before she adds any more to it. I guess it's stressing her out a little bit that she has so much to read, which Casey has the opposite problem. He can never get enough books to keep up with his reading. But while we were at one of the used bookstores we went to, I was tickled because on the wall, on one of their walls, I saw a Diamond Art Club diamond painting, one of the Randall Spangler's So Many Books, So Little Time. And it was all completed and framed and hung up on their wall. And I was just like, ah! I actually own that diamond painting in my stash, and I need to do it at some point. But that was really cool to see. Just like a Diamond Art Club out in the world. And then when we got home, Raya and my husband, Matt, have been working for a long time on their Stardew Valley farm, and they were trying to achieve perfection, which is like doing everything in the game, and it's an achievement you can get in the game. And they were trying to get to that point before the next update comes out, which we don't know the exact date yet, but it's been announced and it's coming soon. And they finally managed to do it this last weekend. So they got perfection and they were really excited. And then we all decided to start a new farm together, like Raya and Matt and Casey and me started a new farm with the Stardew Valley Extended mod, which is like a fan-made mod that adds a bunch of new locations and characters and quests and everything else. And we've never played with that before. But now that they've reached perfection in vanilla mode, they're ready to try that out. So that was fun. We did that quite a lot while she was here. So then on Monday she went back home, and Tuesday was my birthday. And I got up pretty early to go and get Fletcher from the train station. Fletcher is my son who lives about an hour away, and he was able to ride the train to come visit me on my birthday. And I almost never get up that early. I had to pick him up at like 8:54 a.m., which isn't early for a lot of people, I realize, but I'm a night owl, so I don't usually get up that early. So because it was my birthday and because I was up early, I excitedly stopped at Taco Bell for Taco Bell breakfast, which is not something I should be eating due to my diabetes, but I was letting myself have a pass on my birthday. So I got myself an AM Crunch Wrap, and I got one for Matt, and Fletcher wanted breakfast from Carl's Jr., so we stopped there too and got Fletcher some breakfast from there. And then we came home and played a bunch of games and did some diamond painting together. Fletcher had a couple that he left here, so he was working on one of those. And some new ones had come in for him, and so he was excited to open those and see what he got in his toolkit. And he's gonna leave one here to work on whenever he's here. And he actually had to leave them all here because they were too big to take on the train home. So we're going to have to get those back to him this weekend because my daughter Sam is visiting me this weekend. And so she drove up so she can take the diamond paintings in her car back to Fletcher because they're roommates. So yeah, Fletcher for my birthday got me a new board game called Incoherent, and it's like the here part is spelled out because basically it's a game that has like a jumble of letters on the front of the card that make a sound, like make sounds that are supposed to sound like a phrase. And so you have to like say these weird words out loud to try and figure out what phrase it's trying to make you say. And it's really fun. We played that a bit. And then my dad came over and Fletcher and I played that with him. And Casey was at school at the time. And Fletcher and I went to the store to get some stuff to make the sin pie that I was planning to make for my birthday dessert. And we made that. And we decided to do an experiment because usually sin pie is like a layer of cream cheese mixture with whipped cream and stuff, and then a layer of chocolate pudding, and then a layer of vanilla pudding, and then another layer of Cool Whip. But we decided to do half of it the normal way and the other half replace the chocolate pudding with banana pudding and see how that went. And it was actually really good. Definitely would have been better if I didn't use the sugar-free puddings. I could really taste a difference when we got it all completed, but such is the way of life with diabetes, I guess. Anyway, the plan was when Casey got home, my dad and Casey and Fletcher and Matt and I were going to go out to dinner for my birthday, but it didn't work out that way. And like, I'm going to vent a little bit to you guys. I don't usually I try not to be too negative in my videos, but I also kind of want to be real with you guys and not just like brush stuff under the rug that bothers me all the time, because I guess that's not healthy for anybody, you know. But my husband had been acting like super weird the whole day. Like, I brought him home the Crunch Wrap for breakfast, and then he hardly acknowledged me or anyone else the rest of the day. He just stayed in his office and was playing games and stuff. And when I'd try to talk to him, it was kind of one-word answers. And around 2:30, I guess, he came down and got something to eat. And I didn't fully register what he was doing, or I probably would have asked if he wanted to wait, because our plan had been to go get some dinner. Like I just said, our plan had been to go to dinner for my birthday. So when Casey got home at like 3:45 to try and beat the dinner rush. So he ate kind of late. And then when Casey got home and asked him if he was ready to go to dinner, Matt was like, no, he wasn't hungry. So I went up to ask him. I was like, okay, do you want to wait a while and go later? And I said, what's your plan? And he was like, I don't have a plan. I'm just not hungry. And at this point, I'm getting kind of frustrated because I ate the Crunch Wrap for breakfast, and then I didn't eat anything else after that, like the whole day, which I know I'm not supposed to do with the diabetes and stuff, but I can't eat as much as I used to, and I was really excited about going to dinner, and I wanted to be able to like eat enough to enjoy dinner. So I was really hungry because I hadn't eaten, and I was looking forward to leaving for dinner when Casey got home. And then having Matt tell me he wasn't hungry and didn't have a plan meant that I didn't know what to do. Like, should we leave anyway? Did he not want to go? Like, should I wait until he was hungry and then we'd all go? And then I would just get hangrier and hangrier. I mean, and then the rest of us were just kind of twiddling our thumbs waiting to hear what was going to happen. And after a while, Matt sent me a text from, the other room in the house. He sent me a text and, oh, look, I have a bunch of drills in here that I didn't get out of there. Anyway, he said he was feeling anxious and sad, and is that what? Yeah, it's this one. He was feeling anxious and sad, and he didn't know if he was up for going out to dinner, but he was going to take a shower and see how he felt. And so then we all waited while he took a shower, and then I got another text saying that he was just going to skip dinner, which I was disappointed because it has been several years since he has actually joined us for my birthday dinner. And I thought this year, because the night before we had talked about it and he sounded interested and excited to go. So I thought this year maybe he was going to actually go celebrate my birthday dinner with me. So the fact that he wasn't going to go made me sad. And then the fact that we could have gone like an hour sooner if we'd have known he wasn't going to go also made me sad because I was very hungry and everybody had been waiting. And I don't know, I have mental health issues also, so I'm not getting on him for being sad or anxious because I know what that's like. But at the same time, why you always gotta be sad on my birthday, dude? Like, it seems to happen every year. And it's like, and it wasn't just that all of that. It was also like he hardly talked to me the whole day. He didn't get me a card or anything, which is, I mean, I don't expect a gift really, but like not even a card or like he did tell me happy birthday, but it was the night before when I came to bed after midnight and he said happy birthday kind of sleepily. But the next day there was like nothing, like crickets. And I don't know, that was just a little hard. Because he's my person and like it just seemed like he didn't care that it was a special day. And I'm like someone who birthdays are really special to me, like not just my birthday, but anybody's birthday. And I'm always excited to celebrate people's birthdays with them and stuff like that. And I get excited for mine too. I just think birthdays are special, like celebrating that you're here for another year, you know? And so I don't know. I know not everybody thinks of them that way, but it just made me sad. So anyway, my dad and Fletcher and Casey and I all went to dinner at a local place called McGrath's. And it's like a fish house. And I actually never get seafood there because I don't like seafood. But they have this really, really good chicken dish. It's just chicken parmigiana, but the way they cook it is so good. And I always switch out the marinara sauce for Alfredo sauce, and then it's like the best thing. It's one of my favorite meals. So we had a good time, and my dad gave me a really special gift. It was a photo album that he put together of a bunch of photos of my grandma, his mom, from like the time she was a baby, which I didn't even know we had any pictures of her from her childhood. So it was amazing to see all these pictures that I'd never seen before of one of my favorite people ever. And now I have this whole album. It had like class pictures in there and pictures of her and her brother and my great grandma Grounds. And my dad was telling me stories about my great grandma and how I think she was born sometime in the late 1800s, and she had been divorced 4 times in her life. And one of those times she was a mail order bride, and apparently that didn't work out. It's just kind of wild. But yeah, so it was really neat to get that. And there were some pictures in there of like my dad when he was young, and yeah, it was really, really sweet. I will definitely treasure that. And then so after dinner, we went to the bookstore because it was right there, you know. And I was still feeling kind of down. I was trying not to show it because I wanted to enjoy the day with my kids and stuff. And so we went to the bookstore, and I actually bought myself a couple of books, which I don't do very often because, like I said, I mostly read audiobooks and I don't read physical books. But I bought these 2 books because, I mean, they were pretty. And I know they say don't judge a book by its cover. I did read the synopsises of each one, and they sound like books that I will enjoy. But they were also just, they're so pretty, you guys. Let me see if I can show you. I have them right here. So this one is called Remedial Magic by Melissa Marr. And the reason I like this one is because, if you can tell, the pages are like ragged cut. They're not straight. And I just think that's really cool. I haven't seen that on a lot of books. So that looks fun. And then this one I got is called The Night and Its Moon by Piper CJ. And this artwork is just so pretty. I just love this cover. And it's a series, and it's got a couple other books in the series that also have gorgeous matching illustration styles. So if I like this book, if I get to read it at some point, I will want to pick up the other two to match this set. And it's really like velvety soft. I just love it. So yeah, a little retail therapy to get myself a gift and try and make myself feel a little bit better. Because by the time we got home, Matt was pretty much in bed and ready to sleep. So I pretty much hardly saw him at all for my whole birthday. But you know, he isn't the first person I've been in a relationship who had that same thing happen on like holidays and birthdays where they just don't act like themselves. And it's a little like disappointing because I don't know, just like you're excited to spend these special days with them and they totally just close off. It's weird. And I know I'm not the only one who's run into that, because I've had friends in relationships where the other person would act that way on special days for some reason too. So I don't know if it's a thing or something. But he doesn't always do that, so I don't know. Anyway, sorry for complaining. I had a good birthday. I just missed him, that was all. Anyway, Fletcher stayed the night that night, and then the next morning I had to drop him off at the train station at, I want to say, like, was it like 8:10? His bus was leaving. And so we had to get up pretty early, and I didn't want to take the car I usually drive because that one has like keyless entry. And the day before, when we had been out and about on the town, it was giving me a notification that my my remote battery, my keyless remote battery was low. And I was worried that that the battery would run out and that I wouldn't be able to like unlock or start the car. So I took our other car that's a bit older, and it was all gassed up and, you know, stuff ready to go. Drove down there, dropped Fletcher off. Fletcher got on it was actually a bus, because the train station will either send a bus or a train, and this time it was a bus. Fletcher got on the bus, and then I turned on the car to go home, and as I was driving down the road, I turned on my turn signal because I was gonna, you know, turn out of the parking lot, and for some reason, it didn't make its little clicky noise that it does to indicate that the turn signal's on. So I looked at the dash to see if the turn signal light was flashing. The whole dash was just dark. I couldn't see how fast I was going. I couldn't see how much gas I had. Nothing. It was all just dead. Even though the car was running, it was just, the whole dash was not working. So I drove home hoping that my turn signal was actually turning on when I used it, even though I wasn't getting any confirmation of that. And I didn't know how fast I was going, so I was just trying to keep up with traffic. And yeah, so now we have an appointment on March 4th to take it in, and actually we're having it towed into a local shop because Matt's worried about driving it when it's got electrical issues. At least that's what he thinks it is electrical issues. But anyway, so that was an unpleasant surprise to deal with that morning. And then Fletcher got home and let me know that his apartment building had been in the process of having people re-sign their lease, and they just decided to add a new addendum on this year because they got new management, that anyone who wanted to stay in their apartment would have to sign this addendum saying that the new managers were going to provide furnishings for the apartment in all the rooms, and that if you didn't want to use the furnishings, you had to pay to store them, like in storage, or you had to get rid of your furnishings that you already had and use the furnishings they provide. And so now all my kids who live in this apartment building are looking for a new place to go because it's pretty unfair for them to have to either get rid of all their stuff, which when they do move out, they wouldn't have stuff anymore, or pay for storage for either their stuff or the new stuff that the apartment would furnish. So they're going to probably not renew their lease and look for a new place to live. And Fletcher's trying to decide whether he wants to move back here to where I am. But he just got a promotion at work, so then he doesn't know if he can transfer to a local location and keep that promotion. So it's all kind of a mess. It's a big mess, you guys. Everything fell apart on the day after my birthday, I swear. Although I can say I would not be upset if Fletcher was able to move back here, because he's my buddy and I miss him a lot. I miss Sam too, but I know that she and her boyfriend can't move back because they're still going to school and everything where they're at, so. But they're pretty excited to live on their own for the first time. Both Fletcher and Sam and Adrian would be, like, Sam and Adrian are going to look for a place together, and it will be the first time it would be just them. And then Fletcher's going to look for a place to be on his own, and that'd be the first time for that for him. So yeah, they're kind of excited, but also frustrated that it's happening sooner than they planned. In other news, I finished Herbalist's Helper the other day. I wrote down which day it was because I don't remember now, but I have it saved in my Gems Flow, and I will let you guys know how long that one took me when I do my WIP update for the month, which is coming up soon because we're almost at the end of February already. Crazy. But yeah, I finished that one, and I'm very excited to start a new project. I haven't kitted up yet, but I did decide to start Scooby-Dooby-Doo, which I unboxed in my recent What You Got Wednesday video. And I'm going to do that one hopefully pretty quickly. And then I'll move on to I'm Here for the Food by Mrs. Buttered D. So I'm really excited to do that one too. Last night, Thursday night, the new Avatar: The Last Airbender live action show was released on Netflix. So I got Matt to watch that with me, the first 3 episodes at least. Casey does not like to watch TV or movies with other people, so he wouldn't watch it with us. But Matt and I watched the first 3 episodes. We had the whole family pretty much is fans of the animated version. And we'd all watched that together in the past. And so it was really fun to sit down and watch the new version with Matt. And I really like it so far. I think they are really trying to keep the spirit of the animated version. And I think they're doing a good job. And the cast is amazing. They picked people who are just spot on for the most part. The only one to me that I think doesn't quite have the same look and feel is Azula, but I think she's going to be amazing in the role. It just doesn't look like her to me. And I'm sure like the more I see of her, the more used to that casting I'll get. But yeah, I'm very excited to watch more of that. There's 8 episodes, I think, of this first season, so we have quite a few more to get through. And we weren't able to get through any more today because Sam and Adrian got here this evening because they're spending the weekend with me for my birthday. So they couldn't come on Tuesday because Sam had to work and Adrian had school. So they're here for the weekend, which is when Fletcher couldn't come because he had work. So I am excited to spend the weekend with them. And when they got here earlier, Sam gave me a birthday present that I am super excited about. It's called Disney Animated, I think is the name of it. And it's a board game. And it's really, really cool. It's a cooperative board game, so you're all trying to work together to complete an animated movie each before the villains move the deadline up too fast and you run out of time. And we played it tonight and it was so much fun. And it is really pretty. Like, you get little animation cell type cards and it comes with several different movies you can choose. So I did Snow White and Sam did Aladdin because that's been one of her favorite Disney movies since she was a kid. And Casey did 101 Dalmatians and Adrian did Fantasia. And we just barely managed to win. And I think it'll get a little bit easier to do now that we know the rules and stuff. It was a lot to learn at that first time as we were going through, but it was so much fun. And that was after my dad had come over and we had some good dinner. I treated it as like my second birthday dinner. And so this time I made what I was craving, which was definitely meatloaf. So I made what I call meatloaf minis, which is basically like, instead of making a big loaf and baking it in the oven, I make little meatloaf patties and then I just fry them in a pan, like little almost meatloaf burgers. And then when they're nice and done, I put on some like a glaze, like a half ketchup, half brown sugar glaze. Definitely not something I should typically be eating, but once again, it's a birthday celebration, so I let myself have some. And I made broccoli, and my dad came over and brought his famous potato salad that he makes. It's been Sam's favorite for many years, and I love it too. Although his typical version of it, he also puts things like celery and pickles and onions in it. And I don't like those crunchy things in my potato salad. I like my potato salad to just be like soft all the way through. And he was nice enough to like leave those things out and bring them separately and let me get mine first and then mix in the other stuff. So that was really nice. Because usually I just eat around it, which is fine. But this time I didn't have to. So yeah, it was a really good dinner and a really good night playing that new game. And I'm excited to do some diamond painting here after everyone was in bed. Oh, earlier this week, I can't remember if I think it was the night before last, I did start my temperature cross-stitch conversion. It was my first time ever doing a cross-stitch conversion, and I totally managed to screw it up, guys. So I somehow counted like 9 spaces off in the width, and I did the whole bookshelf. I'll probably include some video. I did the whole bookshelf not quite wide enough, and so when I got back up to the top where you put like the middle portion that's going to have the year, it looked off center and I could not figure out what had happened. So I had to go through and like count twice, 3 times to try and figure out what I had done. And I finally figured out that I just hadn't made it wide enough. So I had to move the whole left-hand column over like 9 spaces. So that took a while, but that is why I had left a bunch of space on either side, is in case I made any mistakes, I'd have room to fix them. And that was a good call. That was a good call. Because of course I messed it up. But I've already learned a lot, and it was just my first time trying it, so I'm sure I'll get the hang of it more and more as I do more of it. But I got the whole bookshelf completed, and well, the like shell of it completed, and I still need to do like the year and some of the decor on the shelves that is going to go in between the books, and then the books are what are going to be showing like the temperature of each day. And so it has 12 shelves, one for each month, and then it has the number of books on each shelf that correspond to the number of days in the month. And I'll just have to look up the high temperature of the day in my town and diamond paint the corresponding color. And I still have to go through and figure out what color I'm going to assign to each temperature range. And that part's intimidating me a little bit for some reason, so I've been putting it off. But I need to do that soon so I can get caught up, because we're already almost 2 months through the year and I have not even started that part. So yeah, need to get caught up on that. I wanted to do like a whole video where I talked about it, but I was feeling very stressed this week, and especially that night where I wanted to start it, and I didn't feel like I could talk to the camera. So I did do a little bit of recording, just no talking. So that's why I have some footage to show you, but yeah, I don't know why. I just felt really stressed out this week. Maybe it's because just a lot has been going on. Sam also texted me last night to tell me that she did not get accepted into the college that she is applying for this year, to go back to college in the fall. And that's bizarre because she had gotten accepted there previously, and just didn't end up going that year. And so we were really confused because she knew she had a really strong application and stuff. She's going to go back to school for law school to be a lawyer. And she was really confused. So I was texting her last night about maybe she could appeal and stuff. She was able to call the counselor today to ask. And apparently the reason that she didn't get accepted is not her fault, and it's definitely something she can appeal for. Basically, back in November, she was trying to figure out whether she should apply as a transfer student because she has had some college classes, or as a freshman because she, didn't meet one of the requirements it said she needed, but she was confused. So she asked, and they flat out told her, apply as a transfer student, and then if you still need that class, you can just take it once you're accepted. Luckily, she has this in writing, because the reason she was told that she was rejected was because she needed that one class and she shouldn't have applied as a transfer student. And so she has the email saying, hey, look, this is what you guys told me to do, luckily. So she's waiting to hear back on being able to appeal so that she can start college in the fall. Yeesh. Lots of just stressful stuff. But I felt really bad because she had texted me at like 7 p.m. about this, and I didn't even see the text until 10 because we were in the middle of watching Avatar and I didn't hear. Sometimes my phone doesn't vibrate or make a sound when I get a text, and I'm not sure why because I have notifications turned on, but I didn't even hear the notification. So I didn't see it till we were done watching Avatar, and then Sam didn't respond that evening because she was probably already asleep. So I felt really bad. I was like, ah. So I was really stressed about that last night, but it looks like things might be okay once we get it worked out with the school. So anyway, let's see. I think that's about all I had to update you on about the week. So now I'll talk about our yay or nay for this week. So before I give you this week's question, I want to go over last week's question and my answer to that question, as well as what you guys said and whether the yays or nays won that week. So the question for yay or nay last week was, do you like your name? And we had an overwhelming 17-2 response of yays. So most of you like your names. We had a couple of people who were kind of ambivalent. I can't talk. Ambivalent about their names. So I didn't count those as either a yay or a nay. But I did take some screenshots to share a few of the answers with you guys. So we had Alexis Justiniano 1957 said, yes, I love my name. It means helper, protector, defender, and I definitely am like that more as an adult. I don't think another name would suit me as well. I will say nay on my middle name, though, mostly because my middle name was only used when I was in trouble growing up, but I wouldn't know what to change that to. And yeah, I think a lot of people have that experience where their middle name is only said when they're in trouble. It's funny because with my kids, my eldest daughter has my first name as her middle name, so I pretty much never say her first and middle name because it's weird to say my own name. And then I just don't do the, if you're in trouble, I'm going to say your middle name thing, because I call Casey by his middle name all the time. It actually was my first choice for his first name, but his dad wouldn't agree to it. So at least I got it as a middle name, but I call him by his middle name a lot because it's my favorite name for a boy. So his middle name is Benjamin. So I call him Benjamin a lot. And then Amanda Kuzdas 4939 said, lots of questions to answer, but generally, yay, I like my name because of its meaning worthy of love. That's such a sweet meaning to have as your name. My name means pure or innocent. And I don't know that that's very fitting for me, but I do really enjoy looking into the meanings of people's names and stuff. And then Casey992 said, yay, I like my name now as an adult, but I hated my name when I was younger. No one else had my name, and it always got spelled incorrectly. I can so relate. So my full name is Caitlin, and now it's really a popular name. But when I was growing up, it was very unusual, and almost no one had it. And no one seemed to know how to say it or spell it. I got called Catlin a lot, or Caitlin with a D for some reason, even though there's no D. And now that it's more popular and there are a lot of Caitlins out there, I still get my name misspelled a lot because people spell Caitlin in many, many different ways. So I totally get you. And then Chaotic Crafting said, I do like my name Vanessa and can't really imagine another one as I haven't really thought about it. If I was a boy, I was going to be named Shane, which isn't too bad a name. One name I do really love is Elowin, so maybe it would have been neat to have that as a name. I love that name Elowin. I haven't ever heard that before. I've heard Eowyn, like from Lord of the Rings, and I really love that name, but Elowen is really pretty too. If I was a boy, I would have been named Joshua Devon. And I'm kind of glad I wasn't a boy because I don't particularly love that name. I definitely like my name a lot better. Oh, I'll go ahead and answer the yay or nay for myself, and I'm going to answer yay for me because I actually, especially now that I'm married to someone who had an Irish last name, I love my name because it's Welsh/Irish, and so now my whole name is Irish. And if you didn't know, Caitlin is the Welsh form of Catherine. I was named after my grandma Grounds, who I was talking about earlier, who had 4 husbands and stuff. Her name was Catherine. And then my aunt, my mom's sister, was named Catherine. But they didn't want to directly name me Catherine, so they named me Caitlin. And I think it's a really pretty name. I don't go by my full name most of the time because it seems a little bit formal for my personality. But I love shortening it to Kate, and I think that fits me really well. A lot of people in my family, mostly just family members, call me Katie too. And I'm glad I don't go by Katie 100% because I actually have a sister-in-law whose name is Katie. And then you all know Diamonds and Washi, her name is Katie, and she's one of my bestest friends, and so it'd be weird if we both went by the exact same name. So it's close, but different enough that it's hopefully easy to tell us apart, both my sister-in-law and my friend. So, and then Life with Natty 2520 said, nay for me, only because no one could pronounce it correctly, so I legally changed it, but I wish I didn't. She said her name was Natalia, and she changed it to the English version, Natalie. And both of those are really pretty names. I hope I said it right. I loved hearing about all your guys' pretty names and why you liked them and stuff like that. Like I said, I really have an interest in names and their meanings and what people decide to name, like all of their kids, and how siblings' names sound together and stuff. It's been an interest of mine for quite a long time, so thanks for humoring me. As for this week's yay or nay, please leave a comment if you got this far and tell me your yay or nay answer to this question. The question this week is, do you think we on our planet are the only life in the universe? Or do you think there's other intelligent life out there? So, yay if you think we're the only intelligent life in the universe, and nay if you think that there's gotta be other intelligent life somewhere out there. This is another one of my special interests. I love hearing alien stories and theories and stuff like that. So I want to know what you guys think. Are we alone, or is there more out there? And that said, guys, I think I'm going to leave it here for this week's WIP and Chat. I really appreciate you being here and hanging out with me as we did some work on this diamond painting and chatted for a while. I will see you all, I will see you all Wednesday for What You Got Wednesday, and then hopefully on the 29th or the 1st with a WIP update. And, actually the 1st is going to be when I post my video for the intro for the Way of Kings read-along, so stay tuned for that. I am excited to get started with you guys on this read-along, and I can't wait to see what you all think of this book. Thanks for being here, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, everybody.